few good reviews, 21. We're at that point of the year now where we're getting like 10 to 15-ish albums a week coming out that are worth checking out, or at least we think they're worth checking out, and then we have to do a video like this because there's just nothing to say about them. Lots of fresh music out these days, so much diversity, so much versatility in the music world, which means all of these albums are worth checking out, but just for me there's just either not a lot to say about them or I'm not really feeling them that much, so I'm just going to talk all my opinions here. Ibibio Sound Machine, man, this band is so quirky and eccentric and colourful, and there's just something holding them back. I don't know what it is, but like this time around something about the music just felt quite stiff. I feel like it needs to be like, you know, natural and free and just like careless, but there's something kind of like stiff about their sound, something kind of like calculated about their sound that just kind of makes the music a bit boring to listen to. I can't quite pin down what it is, but their last album was pretty good, but this one's just missing something. But again, it's definitely a worthwhile listen. They're just so fun and off the wall at times that you can't really deny them, but just as a full album experience, this one just lost me a little bit, sadly. Yeah, it's a bit of a letdown. Definitely some really good vocal performances on this, definitely some really good songwriting on this, but for 34 minutes it's essentially just really straightforward, stripped down indie songs that actually do hold quite a bit of power to them, but it's just a bit nondescript, to be honest. Overall, it's not really anything that strikes me in any particular way, although I do recommend this, but just for me, I just need a little bit more of a presence, something that makes Laura stand out from everyone else, and I just don't really get any of that on this album, but I do definitely recommend it because I know albums like this can resonate with people and can kind of strike a chord, but for me it just didn't really do that. Yeah, over time I've just kind of lost interest in Billy Woods a little bit. I still like some of his previous work. Today I Wrote Nothing and History Will Absolve Me is probably his best work, actually. But yeah, I just feel as though with every project he kind of keeps doing the same thing. His rapping style is the same. The beats change a little bit each one, like this time he's got Kenny Seagal on the production here, and it's quite sparse and a bit moody at times, which definitely adds a different style to like the previous Arm & Hammer album that came out last year. But I don't know, I'm just not really that invested in this. It just kind of sounds like pretty much the typical type of style that he's doing. Like he's always rapping the same way. There's some hooks on this album that are pretty weak, and he's always been kind of weak at hooks, I think. But you know, I feel like indie rap heads love this kind of thing. I'm just not in that audience these days, even though a few years ago I definitely would have eaten this up. But I don't know, I just kind of wish that he didn't end every line the same way, like in his rapping. Like he'll just put emphasis on the last word of every line. He'll be like and I don't know, I just don't get any quotables out of this. I can't remember a single great lyric that pops out. Don't remember any great beats, to be honest. I've listened to this a good few times now. Each time I'm just getting less and less out of it, so yeah, unfortunately just not feeling this, but definitely check it out. Hip hop heads do get on Billy Woods because he could reach a wider audience if more people knew about him, I think. Oh man, the vocals on this were just so just really couldn't get through the vocals here, and the painfully dire lyrics too. Everything about this album was just so bland. It was offensively bland. Like it maybe wasn't even that bad, but it just really just offered nothing. So I can't really say I recommend this one, but I suppose their first album, like from 2010, had some good songs on it, but these days they're just pretty not good. This collaboration from the get-go just didn't interest me at all. I like Sia, and I think Sia and Diplo probably could put together some bangers, but Labrinth has never really been in that much of an impressive singer in his solo work. Aside from that one song he did with like Tiny Temper, which was pretty good, but like other than that, he's just a really bland vocalist that I just don't really have any interest in. So LSD to me was just already like nah. And apart from Thunderclouds, I would say the whole of this album is just really bland and uninteresting. You could think that maybe there'd be some really colourful and vibrant pop songs here, but there just really aren't. And Genius is terrible as well. But the remix with Lil Wayne is funny though, because Lil Wayne's rhymes on that track are just so bad that I do have to laugh a little bit. But everything else on this album is just really kind of whatever. I don't really see what warranted this collaboration. I mean, I don't think it's doing very well in terms of like success either. So I don't know if we'll get more of this in the future. But yeah, I just feel like Sia's coasting by on pretty standard vocals that you'd expect from her. There's nothing really to this that I'm engaged in, honestly, yeah. There was a bit of buzz from music publications about Nilüfer Yanya. I don't really know a great deal about her, but I do know that this album definitely had a lot of cool ideas. There were so many interesting variations of sounds and styles. It really had a unique sound palette across the thing, but I just think vocally there wasn't really that much of a presence. Honestly, it sounded like I was listening to some kind of like Radio 1 like acoustic sessions episode or whatever that you'd find on YouTube, or just tuning in on the radio. Just some random new up and coming rising star that honestly doesn't have a unique style to their vocals or that much of a personality shining through, that it just kind of makes the music a bit of a slog to sit through. But the music itself actually was quite cool, but unfortunately I just didn't really get that much out of Nilüfer as a singer, sadly. The repetitive nature of this album definitely holds it back as points for me, especially on a track like LWP, where I'm just kind of bored of the same thing being repeated over and over again. I kind of want something fresh and different that comes through, and luckily as the album goes on, it definitely explores new ideas that I think really work really well on a track like Death Star especially. It's just so heavy, and I think their mix of math rock and post rock just works really well at times. So the album ends up being pretty good overall, but I just feel as though they could probably explore some of these ideas in great depth in the future. At this point they're just kind of putting out solid music, but I think eventually they could be giving us like great material. But yeah, definitely check this out, it's pretty solid, and yeah, it's good. Yeah, still struggling with this band Priests, you know. I just think they're really bland and pretty stiff mostly. I just find their attempt at post-punk sounding like an homage as opposed to their own distinct style, because they just don't have a distinct style at all. Like, there's nothing on this album that separates them from modern post-punk bands that do such interesting things with their sound, like Proto Martyr. You've got a band like Algiers, Savages. Like, I could name way more. I just don't really see what Priests do. They sound like they're just emulating a style as opposed to naturally playing a sound that fits them. It's just really pretty bland to me. But I like the last song. I thought the last song had a pretty decent melody to it. But other than that, I'm pretty bored listening to this album. The debut album from Show Me the Body was pretty cool. It was alright. Didn't really get that much from it, but I thought it was definitely a worthwhile listen. But this one just doesn't really do anything for me, man. I don't even think it's like necessarily a bad album, but it's similar to that Sigrid album that I talked about a while back, where like it's just not doing enough to stand out in the genre that it's in. Like, it's just so painfully bland, and some of the production on across this album actually was pretty weak. I think like the vocals sometimes just didn't match the instrumentals. Like, there needed to be a bit more of an intense push, I think, from the music to match those vocals. But yeah, I don't know, this band's kind of cool, I guess. I'm definitely going to keep checking out what they do, but they're not really selling it to me just yet, so we'll see. But yeah, this one wasn't really for me. Look, I absolutely adore power pop and indie rock when it's done really well. Check out that Future Me Hates Me album from the Beths from 2018. That was a great album, but man, when it's this bland, tepid, and boring, honestly, just so dull, I feel kind of almost offended. I'm really I think I'm offended. Epic Beard Men. Gotta have one of the worst all-time rap duo names, I think, in the history of hip hop. Like, surely this has got to be up there with one of the worst. But also have a bit of a lame approach to putting together their kind of old school, throwbacky, indie rap style here, because I think Sand Dunes was like a great track where they're just flowing for days on that one. It was a real good banger, but everything else on here was just really. It just reminded me like old man rap, like just classic backpacker rap from the 2000s, and I couldn't really shake that because so many of these hooks were really poorly put together, and they had some interesting things to say throughout. They're definitely wordy and that kind of thing, but yeah, this is just another classic example of an indie rap album where the emphasis is all on the lyrics or all on the concept, and then the actual songs just don't really sound particularly very good. But yeah, I mean, definitely check this out if you are into your indie rap. They're definitely very talented, but I just wasn't really feeling this. When it came to Khalid's debut, American Teen, I was definitely one of the more positive music commentators to speak on that album, because I definitely think it provided a lot more than people gave it credit for. There were some really good R&B tracks on there. Overall, it wasn't great or anything, but it was definitely a solid entry for him into his career. But this new one, Free Spirit, it was just so boring. Like, I hate to use that word as an adjective when talking about music, because it is a bit lazy to use, but Jesus Christ, this was boring. Like, it was just the perfect, like, it's a vibe album. Like, it was just the definition of that. There was just nothing to the lyrics, there was nothing to the music. He has a great voice, absolutely. You can't deny that he has a great voice, but Jesus Christ, what a waste of a talent here. Like, everything about this album just really reeked of nothingness. And we'll leave it there for this episode of A Few Good Reviews. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any recommendations out of this, that would be great. Or if you have any opinions on the albums I mentioned, that would also be great. Let me know. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Tell me what I should review next, and goodbye.